Hi there, it's Mike from Cavill. Oh, train's just coming in. So it's Tuesday the 16th of May at the moment in time, and one of the things been looking at today for us personally is our services, our offering. So one of the things I keep getting at the moment in time is just HR, it's just payroll, and actually that's just not the case about what we do. So really looking to see about how we can streamline HR, streamline the payroll within businesses, and asking that magic question of why. So we've always done it that way before, so surely that'll be the way that it'll go ahead again. And then normally, you know, in most HR departments I've worked in and other companies I've been to, the case is just simply you kind of apply the same policies, you draw up the same really long policies, and businesses spend up to 25% of their time working on them and supporting their staff, and really what they want to do is just, you know, move on with the business. So at the moment we're trying to really look at streamlining the offering down to how we can make lives more simplistic, because after all, that's everything we're trying to do. It's our core value. So for us, that's a real big key step that we're continually trying to aspire and work on. We don't hold our hands up at the moment and say, hey, we've got the magic key and we figured this all out so far, because we haven't. It's a simple fact, but that doesn't mean that we won't keep trying to aspire to have that. We absolutely believe that HR and payroll and business can be more simplistic. It doesn't have to be the way that it is at the moment in time. So for us, that's a really key thing. I'm back up in London again tomorrow, and we'll try and add a bit more to the blog. But obviously we're really key to try and find people's feedback as to what's really making their lives a little bit more difficult at the moment in their business, and you know, whether it's HR, whether it's payroll, whatever it is, how can you make that more simplistic? How can you make that more straightforward? So yeah. So here I am at Waterloo today. It's the 17th of May. I'm losing track, but today's been quite an interesting day, really, looking at how pragmatic organisations can be around decisions they need to make to move business forward. So I think really one of the things we really need to be careful of and mindful of is that we don't step in the way of the progression of business. That's got to come first, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what the business is there for. So I think that's a really, really key message, is to see how pragmatic our simplicity and our designs can be around what is actually really needed, and focusing in on that so that actually we can help enhance business rather than actually drive it to a stalemate. So one of the key things we're thinking about today, and try and catch up a little later on. Okay, thanks. Hi everyone, so it's Friday the 19th, so finally made it to Friday, and basically one of the things we've been working on and doing recently is looking at building the simplicity mechanism within teams. So trying to look at the staff members' life cycle and work our way through, and try and see how you can try and add in a bit more simplicity by taking some of the basic stuffs out. And it's been really exciting, to be honest. So one of the things we've been doing is really looking at, rather than just taking the picture as it is and saying, well, we've got policies here because of these legal reasons, etc., etc., we actually say, well, why don't we take that out of the mix for a minute and try and see why we need these certain things, and ask that question for clarity about why we're doing something, why we're taking this particular piece of action. And one of the key focus areas we've got to at the moment is really looking at the importance of teams. So obviously one of the analogies we've been using of late is really looking at towards trying to see an analogy of sport, so like rugby being my favourite sport. So trying to break down from this, how do you roll that out within an organisation like a school, or the NHS, or a restaurant, a hotel, a coffee shop. And it's getting to an exciting point of looking at, dare I say, every time I mention it to people, it's kind of a little bit of a sharp intake of breath. But it's looking more towards maybe some more self-management and trying to reduce down on the timescales for managers, so actually managers become more coaches and more leaders, driving and inspiring teams and individuals, and people that come into work because, well, it's part of who they are, it's part of what they do. So they want to join. Like, for example, the restaurant is a family restaurant. Everything they do is all based around family. So as part of that, then you want people that are inspired by that to become part of that family. People come to work because, not just because they've got to come to work and that's what they're contracted to do, or they get told off by their boss, but because they actually want to be at work, because they want to be there, they have to be there, because they've got to be with their family, who they are. It's part of their identity. It's linked to what they do. So that has actually been quite exciting for us at the moment in time. Looking forward to seeing how we can develop that, move that forward and put that more into other businesses that we're working for. And the good thing about that is it's taking the workload off the managers, it's making it more simple, and it's linking to people being in the business because they want to be in the business. We're not in the business of recruiting people based on just qualifications, experience, etc., etc. We're recruiting people because they share the same values, the ethos, the energy and the culture, and they're buying into a bigger picture. So anyway, I'm going to take off. I'm going to go and get the girls, and I'll see you all soon. Thanks. Bye.